your every day. So maybe my not good English, it will be good, good enough, to explain what I want to explain. Okay, guys, so let's continue. I want to share with you, some presentation, and we'll go through this presentation. And my goal in this course, in this startup school, I want that we will build some some teams, because it's very, very important that you will not be alone. Because one very important things in the success for the startup is also team, because it's actually, if you will try to see the successful startups, they have team. It's very rarely that startup with the solo founder will success. So we need the team, because for startups, as I said, we need some technology background, because we build something technological based. We need some marketing guys which actually can understand who's potential customer with the problem, how to reach the customer, how to provide to the customers this customer journey, go-to-market strategy. And third one, as a rule, you need some leader which actually have the vision, and this leader can just take and push, and and from one side to pull, from other side to push, this startup for success. So it's good if you have the team. So in our case, we have more than 40 people in our school, and there are a lot without ideas. So for me, it's very important that we will, and Sergey will help us, me and you, to create the teams around the ideas which already were presented or will be presented, and for the people who have ideas, for their startup. It's not mean if you will going to create the team, so all of these team members will start to be like co-founders and so on. No, and they will get the portion of the idea. So my approach, actually, what I want to propose to you guys, once we create these groups with these teams, so these teams will be created for this course. It's mean for just to pass this startup school, these classes will need some kind of communication, some kind of brainstorming, some kind of working together. So it's very hard to learn how to build a startup without the idea, just to come and try to hear from me what startup should to do. It's very important to train yourself to do it practically. So my suggestion that I will create this kind of teams, which will be around some ideas. So maybe if it's not enough ideas, so we will be able to create the teams, and they will find some kind of ideas. But actually, my idea in this case that we create these teams, but from just for this course. So, but in the end, if people will like each other and they will work together, and maybe will do some kind of pivots, they will change direction, and they do brainstorming, and they will like each other. So maybe after that they will be able to continue to work together. But it's not like, okay, if I'll just divide you to the teams, it's mean everybody just will take part of this, like co-founders, and start to, each of you, of team, I mean, will have some part of this, pipe of the equity of the startup portion. But I think it can be very useful for you and for us as well, because once we have teams, it will be much more easier for us, to provide you some kind of homeworks, and you will need to work together to get some points, to get some goals. And in this case, this is the best way learn, and to learn by doing, not just learn by hearing or reading. Okay, so this is very important part, and I think for the next our meeting, the Sergey together with you will create these tips. Okay, so now I'm going to share, as I said, my screen, and I want to present you a presentation which actually can show us what kind of steps a startup should go through, and what kind of very important basic knowledge you as a startup founder should to know, because it's very important. And today I will try to explain you the basic, and after this basic, once you understand that, you will go more deeply, trying to go more deeply in each of these, in these blocks of the startup building. Okay, so I'm going to share now a presentation screen. Okay, tell me please what you actually see and how it looks.
Yeah, everything is okay. Learn innovation free, no?
Yeah, but the question: do you see the what kind of screen do you see? You see how?
No. It looks like not whole, because in right, yeah, we small screen, and here
okay,
big.
Okay.
Two slides, one small and
I
next
see.
big.
I just try to see how we can fix it.
Maybe we stop share or not?
No, stop. 1 minute. Let's see, 1 minute. I'm trying to understand how we can see it in the whole screen. How is now? Sergey?
Oh yes, now
Now it's a big one, yeah?
yes, it's a full presentation.
Okay, cool. Cool. So actually, I want to present you Lean Innovation 3.0 from Startup Nation. Startup Nation, it's Israel. Yeah, it's Israel coined it with this Startup Nation, and I actually explain you why. And Lean Innovation 3.0, why 3.0? It's mean we had before that 1.0, 2.0. Now we're talking about 3.0 and explain why during our course and during our approaches and our tools which I'll provide you. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. So innovation drives economic growth. It's a very important part of each country. Okay, and actually we can see a lot of countries which today they are like innovation hubs. Yeah, innovation hubs. So United States, China get it very aggressively. In the last decade. Approach from in United States and China is a little different because actually China are dying, it's under communism regime, I mean, and they support technology, but mainly they try to use these technologies, for their own political, power increasing. Israel, as I said, we're a startup nation, and after that, I will try to understand how Israel to get here and what the challenges Israel today meet, in this changeable world. Singapore, Ireland, very interesting. It's Germany, yeah. This is Ireland and the UK and others. And I mean, innovation drives economics growth, but sometimes also the change in the world in some events which happens for example, what happened today in Ukraine, what's happened today in Israel. Sometimes this changing around us circumstances bring more and more people to think about the new solution, and new solution can bring new product. Okay, so very interesting, to see the Israel of 19th. So in this time, actually, Israel they have good, agriculture, and Jaffa oranges, which was sold around the world. So they have some, good brands, and not only in agriculture. I mean, in classical economics. So they have factories. They produce, some products, but it was hard to do, this regular business, because Israel is a small country. Actually, around Israel, there are a lot of not so friendly countries as well. And if you provide and you produce some physical product, so you need to bring to the market. So you need to bring it to Europe, and it's additional cost. You should to bring it to United States, to other parts of the world. So there are a lot of overhead just to bring it, overhead cost. So in this case, the technology where you can add more value and actually to monetize your knowledge start to be, it's very, good solution for Israel. And especially in 19s, why 90s? Because the internet started to grow. Okay, so it's like was some kind of shift in the technology in the technology space, and it's bring new opportunities. It's very simple today if we're talking about AI and generative AI and artificial intelligence and all of these technologies which have raised in last years. So a lot of people say, look, it looks like it was in 19s with the rise of internet. So now it's like AI, it's like next step in the technology development. It's mean it can bring a lot of new product, a new solution. So internet bring huge number of products, solutions, new businesses, big companies, which today are multi-billion companies just because they're internet. See it, for example, Amazon. So these guys, you know, Jeff Bezos start to use internet to sell books. But today it's a huge, you know, corporate with a lot of different segments, but the mostly the basic of this business is the internet, because they have online marketing, they have AWS. If somebody knows what is the AWS, it's Amazon Web Services. So they will provide to the customers infrastructure to run their sites, to run their networking, and so on. Which actually was interesting from point of business modeling, because in the beginning they build something for them, and because they grow so big, they will need a big infrastructure to support their online activities. But once they build this infrastructure, they just decide, okay, why not to trying to sell it also, and maybe to bring additional money, additional revenue to the company. So actually in Israel, it was like a dilemma, what's continue to do, to continue with the classical economics, or to go to the new approach, to the software and software, hardware, new approaches in the development. And actually it was chosen that to go with the software. So it's very interesting to see the export from Israel in 19th last centuries. From 1993, its export was about 1 billion, and during the upcoming 5-6 years, we can see that classical economics is continue, agriculture still stay in same level, but the high-tech export, the software and other solution grows dramatically. And why? Because actually with the physical products, you all the time just limited. You're limited with this project, because with this product, because okay, you have certain certain possibilities to grow the citrus or other products, but it's all the time you limit it, with the area where you can grow them. But from technology point of view, it's other story. It's different story. Why? Because especially in software, you can create some solution in software and just to sell it, and without investing in creating additional products. And it was interesting sentence which came from one of the well-known entrepreneur in the United States, which actually created Netscape. It's one of the first browsers which implemented new technology from MP4 and the other, and JPEG in the browser with the pictures, and and after that the streaming and so they was the first who implemented it. So he has very famous sentence and saying, okay, I have a software, I sell it to you. Okay, it means I sell it to the customers, and what happened after that? I have a software. So I mean, you just you sell copies, so you create the software once, and after that you can sell the copies without investing into creating more and more, you know, the product, it's same product, it just copy paste, and you can sell it. And here where startups start to grow from in the years of 90s, because of software, internet, they cover the global market. And once you have good idea and once you have good product, actually you can sell it to 1,000 people, to 100,000 people, to million, to 2, to 5, to 10, 100 million people, and same product. If it's good enough, and this product solve real problem, you know, which you will try to solve. So from Israel, it was like very interesting and nice growth and very good opportunity to, you know, to go into the business in the high tech. So as a result, Israeli GDP, it's a gross domestic product in 2023. It's about something like, you know, $500 billion. It's all near $500 billion, $500 billion. So it's about $500 billion. So it's quite big amount, okay? And actually, we can see that from the 19th, where it was about 40 billion. So and today it's like 500 billion. Okay, it's like grows in multiply 10 in this last let's say 25 years. And this is great. And actually, this growth especially done by development of the companies which created new products and successfully reached the market. So in current stage, you know, actually in Israel in current stage work about 6,000 startup companies, which actually some of them just rise, some of them, you know, will close, some of this will do great growth and transfer it to multinational companies. So it's very established ecosystem. You know, it's a foreign ecosystem which really can provide for the startups a lot of support and a lot of possibilities. And I very believe that actually in Ukraine today it can be established the basic for the tomorrow's growth. Because in Israel, it's also in the beginning of the, you know, when the country was established, there were a lot of wars, and we don't really have friendly countries around us, and it was under sanctions sometimes from Arabic countries. So once the people, it's, let's say, once people should to survive, so they try to find some, you know, some solution for the problem. And it's there, I think, you know, entrepreneurship was born. And I think, you know, that I think it's also a possibility today from Ukrainian to start to create new technologies, new solutions, new companies, which will be able to help, you know, inside the country, but also maybe very good products which will be able to market around the globe, in the world. So let's see now how the startup development stage is actually, this is the life of the startup. This is the life of the startup. And in 1 minute, I will take some kind of notation here. Okay, so the first one is we start from you know, from idea stage, and the idea stage is okay, I have some, you know, great idea, and I want to create the startup. So this is the first, and actually we'll try to see in this slide what related to the money and what related to the growth of the product, okay, and what actually most of the startups reach in their life, in their life. So they start from the idea. So somebody say, okay, Evrika, I have, for example, the idea to, to create some software for carpenters. And that this software can, with using AI, can actually to simplify the process of the ordering from customers, the furniture from the website, because AI now can just do a personalization size for this carpenter, okay, for this table or other furnitures for the customer. So once you have this idea, so the first stage, you have some kind of idea. So the second one, as a rule, some kind of co-founder stage, when actually people try to find somebody who will, who will work together with them. And it's very important that in the startup will be not solo. You can start with the solo, but it's very important that you will have the team, as I described before, that the 3 team members. It's classical like number of team, yeah. Sometimes it's 2, but more it's like 4, 5, 6 co-founders. It's like not looking good, in the beginning stage. So it's like 2, 3. If maximum 4, it will be a great number. Okay, so in co-founder stage, they start to work about the idea, trying to see what kind of a product they can do, what kind of marketing, do some kind of validation to understanding who is the potential customers, what the problems, what they need, what kind of feature we can create to just to provide to our customers. So all of these steps they can do in the beginning. Okay. And we see we have a trial product design, initial product design. So we're trying to understand, okay, what kind of product, what we can do, and trying to evaluate it, to check it, to validate it with our potential customers. From the money, actually from the investment, as a rule, it's some kind of let's put some money, to create some prototypes. So sometimes some relatives or friends can help. And so this stage from the money point of view, sometimes people call it FFF. What it's family, friends, and fools. Okay, so it's in this case, the people who will believe, or maybe they see the motivation from the startup founders, they decided, okay, to go ahead and put some money and just to continue with it. So the next one, the next stage, it's acceleration. It's mean you have minimum viable product, and this term, which we will talk, a lot of this minimum viable product. And also you will hear from me, and this is actually the methodology of Innovation 3.0. I call it minimum sellable product. Okay, so very important how you will bring the minimum set of features of your future product, which will be able, which will be sold to the potential customers. So once you will get this connection with your potential customers and you have some, you will be able to sell some initial product, it will be much more easier for you after that to go to investors, and you're ready to, it's like to validate the business model and not just to validate the prototype of the product. Okay, so this is minimum valuable product. Okay, it's minimum valuable product. And in this stage, called acceleration, because in this case, you actually accelerate your development of your startup. As I said, in this both stage, from the money point of view, it's like we have here family, friends, fools, Okay, so founders also can put some money, and the amount of the money which startup raised in this early stage is about, you know, it's tens of dollars. Okay, it's going to be 20, 25, 30, 50, but it's this amount. It's not hundreds. It's not yet hundreds. Okay, because it's early stage of development. Next one, okay, is the sovereign stage, and sometimes the people call this from the point of investments like pre-seed. So this is one, it's like pre-seed. What's mean pre-seed? You will get early money for just to start your product development. So the next one is sowing stage. This is the seed, okay? And here we talk about hundreds of dollars which can be invested. Why? Because actually you have already working prototype, you already communicate with the potential customers, you already have proof of concept, you have design partners, actually companies with you are working, you already have some kind of waiting list of potential customers which actually like your product, they want it, and they waiting for, you know, that they will start to create this product and provide it. Okay, so this is sowing stage. As I said, the amount of the money it's already raised from tens to hundreds, and actually we start to see here some kind of new investors. Okay, so actually here we see the business angel. Okay, so this is new kind of investors. This is guys which actually have, you know, they have money. It's not like they invest the last, you know, what they have. They have some money and as a rule, they can allow themselves to invest something like maybe 10% or maybe 5% for their amount. Okay, and what they're looking for, they're looking that they can invest money in the company valuation, for example, $1 million. But after 5-6 years, the company valuation can grow to the 100 million. And in this case, for example, if they put, you know, like 20, they put like $100 invest in the company, will get, for example, 20% of the company, shares of the company. And after that, after additional investors will access to the startup, and I'll explain which kind of investor will join to the startup in next round. But this 20% of the angels can be reduced. We have special word for this. It can be diluted. It's like we diluted to reduce the percentages from 20%. For example, for 10%, you know, during the life of the startup, because other investors will came and will dilute this 20%. But in the end, for example, if the company will have the valuation like $100 million and somebody will buy it, or maybe they will go to IPO, so 10% for this angel investor which has this 10% from the company, so 10% for $100 million, it will be like $10 million. So this is a point. This is a business angel. This is guys, they're looking for these opportunities. When they say, okay, now I'm going to invest $100, but I want to get in the exit million, 10 million, 5 million. But they're looking to multiply their money they will invest in the startup, let's say from 10 and more, or 10 to 50 to 100 times money back on the sum that this investor put on the startup. Okay, so in this case, we already have founders, we have business angels. We can already have some kind of employees. So before that, we just was together, 3 founders and work together. But now we raised already money, and with this money, we want to bring more productivity to create, you know, the process of creating the creating the product. So in this stage, we can take employees which can start to work with us, and also these employees will get from us. It's called shares or options. So it's one important point why the startups co-workers, yes, or startups employees looking to work in startups. It's not only because, oh, it's very interesting idea, it's very interesting to build it, but also because maybe they will get less salary if, to compare it to well-established companies, which pay maybe more. But in startups, early employees will also will get from company shares. They'll go, it's called options. It's mean they can get from the company some kind of, the part of the company, which in very low price. For example, we talk about that, for example, the angel investor came to the startup and invest $100,000 and get, let's say, 20%. And after that, when company will reach the stage of 100 million, so the investor can receive like million or more instead of the money that he put in the beginning of the startup. But early employees can also get from startups some percentages. So they're not talking about 10 or 20 or 30%. It's divided. These parts it's for the co-founders. But early employees can get like 0.5%, maybe 1% if you're very important guy, maybe 2% if you're going to some kind of C positioning level like VP of R&D or CTO or some kind of more important positioning. And once you have 1%, let's say it will be diluted to 0.5%. But if company will be sold for 100 million, so actually this 0.5 can bring you like $500,000. And this $500,000, this is actually much more than salary which you will be able to get from this startup in the early, days if startup paid you salary. So this is why this ecosystem growing in this way. So early stage employees, they also get in the exit very significant amount of money. And interesting that this early stage employees, they're workers, they're just working on this company, but they will be able to get $500,000 or $1 million in their exit, create interesting, the circle about, because these employees which get this amount of money, they start to be angel investors. And this is very regular here in Israel. I know guys which just 10 years ago there was the programmers in some startups, but after exit they got now hundreds of thousands, some of them several millions, and now with this money they not really want to continue to work as software engineer, just to sitting in the office and write something. They start to be angel investors. And they go into the startups, they're looking for the good, interesting ideas. They put this $200,000 in the startups, get their equity, and in this case, all of this ecosystem work and grows. So if you'll go further in the right side, so the next one, it's a startup stage. It's interesting because the startup stage for the startups, but really here with ready for sales product, RSP, ready for sales, and we start to go to market, which we prepare in this stage before that, but now we launch it and we start to sell and grow. It's very important that once we start to sell, that's ready for sales product. Of course, for successful startup, it should be accepted by the customers, and it's mean once will be accepted by the customers. So the next very important slogan here is market fit product, MFT, market fit product, or sometimes people call it product market fit. Okay, it's when the market will accept the product actually and will like it. So once it's happened, it's much more easy for investors to bring more money, because uncertainty already and risk will already passed. Okay, and now we can start the company which will continue to grow. So from the point of view of investment, so in this case, we can see that here we can start to talk about millions of dollars, okay, because we already did some kind of risk, and actually we have the product which is ready to sell. And here in this stage, we can also start to see a new some kind of players on investment. They called VC. What does it mean, VC? It's venture capital. So here it was angels, but if we are talking about the venture capitals, it's some kind of business which bring the money from the big organization, like universities, like some kind of big family offices, from the pension funds. Okay, so from some organization we collect a lot of money, but now this organization want to increase the amount of the money, not just to put it on the bank, because if you're going to put in the bank, so the percentage is very small, and maybe you will, inflation, it just can eat your growth of the money. So the people trying to see how they can, for example, to get $100 million and put it in 20 or 30 or 40 startups, and in some stage when startup will reach big valuation and startup will be sold. So in this case, they can get their money back, and part of this money they will leave, in the venture capital, the co-founders of venture capitals, and they, as a rule, called general partners. And we also have the limited partners. So there's a big organization just bring the money, but general partners take the money from pension funds, from universities, and and other organizations, and they manage it because of this. They are managing partners, and we have a limited partners. So venture capitals, they already not invest like $100,000, $200,000, $250,000. As a rule, they invest more, because they have like 100, 200, sometimes $500 million under management, and they need to put in different startups and to help to grow them, to manage them through the board of directors, from the advisory boards. And in this case, after the startups will have exit, they will have their 20%. And in this case, for example, if we're talking about unicorn, some startups was Google will, base, for example, it's Israeli startup. So Google came and just bought the base for $1.5 billion, I think, or more than $1 billion. So in this case, if, for example, some venture capital invest in the beginning $2 million and get like 30%, and now this was diluted to 15%, but 15% for $1 billion company is like about 150 million. And this is actually their business. They try to collect money to invest to the startups, and in this case, if in the exits will get their parts, increasing their investment significantly. So after that, this is like startups start to grow. So here we have a product market fit. Now with the expansion stage, so sometimes startups in this case that add additional feature, add additional product line. They can go to the different segments. They can go to different markets. For example, they started in Europe, but now it's Europe. They start to grow, and now after that they can establish their offices in Australia and United States, for example. In this case, company start grows very, very strong. And actually here in the end, we can see the exit. Okay, the exit is very interesting to understand. It's very important to understand what is the exit for the startup. Okay, so when startups start to be the market leader product, okay, is that they have a lot of customers, and these customers are satisfied with the product, and we can really understand what exactly the market segments, what exactly they want, and we know exactly our go-to-market strategy. We know how to advertise our product, and we can to predict how many, for example, if we put $1,000 in the advertising, so this $1,000 can bring us, for example, like 10,000 in our sales. So everything, mostly we know, no surprise. We know how it works. So, and in this case, we still see that the company can continue to grow. And here came two possible exits. So one possible exit, this means it's called M&A. It's a mergers and acquisition, M&A. It's when the big company like Samsung, Google, Microsoft just came to the startup and said, okay, guys, you're doing very interesting things. We can see that this market can grow. This company can continue to grow. We like your product. Maybe we'll also buy your product and integrate with some our products. So in this case, we'll bring additional value to our company. And we have already, for example, in Google, we have, let's say, 500 million users. And now you have very interesting game. So, and these games in some kinds will advertise, and it can help to our advertiser, to our customers, to more significantly, to more sufficiency to do the advertising. So we'll buy your company, for example, for $1 billion company, or for $1 billion. It's exactly what's happened with Waze, because Waze actually to create this navigator, smart navigator, and when it's that like hundreds of millions of people started downloaded Waze, to use it from how to reach from A to B. So Google recognized, so these people, they first of all, they know that they move, they understand from which point to which point they're going to drive. And in this case, maybe it will be good idea to advertise to these people, because you know exactly where these people are going. So maybe you can advertise them some products, some businesses in their location. It's happened to me a lot because I use Waze. So once I stop it in some interjection in the road. So the advertisement can arise and say, okay, we have here this kind of service, we have this kind of store, and maybe you can want to buy something, so you can find it there. And after 1 minute, when I just passed continue to drive, it's disappear. So this is where, as I said, one possible exit is M&A, when a big company just came and buy your product. From other sides, or other the other exit, possible exit, it's called IPO. It's initial public offering. What does it mean? Initial public offering? It's when startup just going to the market, to the exchange, and sell a part of the shares. Okay, it's called equity. The shares, it's small parts of of the company's pie. So the percentages of the company, the share, they just sell it to them on the exchange, to the market, to the regular people, because regular people can go to the exchange and buy the share of Apple, Samsung, and other emerging companies in this exchange. What does it do for the company? So for one side, the company is going to get this money, because if a company just going to the exchange and sell the shares, it means somebody buy these shares. It means that this money from buying the shares is going to the company after they pay some some percentages like revenue. Okay, but in this case, company can bring the money inside and start to continue to grow, to create the product. But from other sides, why it's very important, because all these founders, which was okay, the angel friends and family, the angel investors, venture capital, okay, all of these venture capital, all of these investors which invested in the early stages, but for example, here, when the first money came, so the company, for example, was cost 100K. Here it was like maybe 1 million. Here it's like maybe 10 million. Okay. Here it was like maybe 20 million. But somebody just come and they do IPO and M&A for 100, for example, $1 million. Okay. It's mean all of these guys which put the money in the startup now can get their money back. As I said, if somebody here, some uncle which just provide to the startup money, and he has like 5% of the company, so here his 5% can be presented like $5 million. Okay, so this is the growth. This is the way how startup start, from the point of idea and actually reach this point of exit. And this is what actually any startup can dream about, the exit. Somebody can, ask why exit if it's a good startup. So why we will not be able to continue it, without exit, without selling, without to sell ourselves to the big companies. We just can generate the money. So the reason that the exit is very important, because all of these investors which put the money inside, they want their money back. They want their money back. So actually, for example, my uncle, my friends, my family, and angel investors, let's say they can wait because of their own money. So if they have some percentages of the company which can start to pay the dividend, okay, to split the revenue and to share it with the early stage investors. These guys, which actually start to be from venture capital, this venture capital as a rule established for 10 years. So after 10 years, they should to return the big money which they'll bring from, as I said, for example, from pension fund, they need to return to them. So they need the possibility to sell what they have in the company. they want to sell what they have, the percentage of what they have in the startups. Why? Because they need money back. And this is the pressure, and this is why it's working in this way, where a startup growing, and sell itself, as I said, or IPO, if you go into exchange, or in the M&A, when actually somebody just big company come and can buy the startup. Okay, so this is a life. This is a life, and you just you stay here. You stay here, but you need to understand the flow of the growth Okay, so now the question, please. I just stop here because I explain the life cycle of the startup. So it's very important to me that you understand that. And if you have some questions, so please ask.
Yes, thank you very much. I have one question. I would like to understand, when we build all these things, how we need to think about, about all these shares, about these obligations for other people. I mean, what's about love side? How we need to, fix, how we need to write our responsibilities for each one. I mean, I'm not sure what type of legal form for this firm it must be, and я хочу сказати, яким чином ми можемо юридично оформити ці відносини, ці взаємодії, тому що 10 років – це дуже великий відстань, і законодавство змінюється, тобто потрібно або зафіксуватися в якомусь спеціальному законодавстві, або, як впевнити, що за 10 років речі, які ми домовились, через 10 років законодавчо будуть тими самими, і наші взаємні наші очікування один від одного якби зафіксовані. Дякую.
Yeah, right. Actually, because this is a serious journey and the long journey, so there are a lot of importance for the legal issues. Okay, and all of this money which invested in the startup company, as a rule, they came backed with the legal agreement. Okay, so in this case, the company should have the legal advisor, lawyer, okay, which can understand and can provide the legal documents and agreements which will allow to the startup and to the investors to feel comfortable, each to other. And it's very important understanding that investor is like a partner, because if, for example, somebody invests $25K in the beginning of the startup, actually you'll continue to work to live with them, in the business area for years. So this is why very important to choose also right kind of investors. You asked also about the legal. Yes, so let's say in the West, in United States, in Europe, in Israel, in UK, it's quite very simple for startups to do all of these legal works, because the people are doing this not for first time. There is some changes, but not really changes in the let's say in the legal environment. For example, in the United States, it was impossible to raise money from the big amount of people. Okay, but something like maybe 8 years ago or 9 years ago, it was changed, which it's called today the crowdfunding, where big number of people can invest small a small amount of money in the startup, just and get equity, get shares, and to be like crowd-based investor. Okay, so sometimes the governments update the legal structure to increase the possibility for to do their life of the startups easier, to get the money, and especially when something happened in the market. So we have Corona. So once it was Corona, so we saw some changes in the legal support of the startups. In Ukraine, as I know, it's still like hybrid mode. Okay. So, for example, we have, it looks like in DS City, more and more companies can create the startup in more like a West orientation mode, but in regular company which you open today in Ukraine, you don't have this. You don't have this instrument for options, to provide the options to the employees. So this is the reason why a lot of Ukrainian startups open companies in abroad, in Estonia or maybe Delaware, United States, because there it's much more easier to set up the company and bring for investors, understandable legal documents which can be approved by their legal advisors, and it's work. So in this case, I say it's a long time, but but till now it's worked well, because the laws not changed very frequently. It's continued because it's for example, in Israel, it's the basic of British law, and mostly of the rules, it will continue to use that. But what actually related to the innovation and startups, it's all of the time it's a little changed, but it's mostly upgraded. For example, there is a very useful today, the agreement for investment. It's called SAFE. It's SAFE, SAFE agreement. What is a SAFE? It's a simple agreement for future equity. And what does it mean? It means if you are an angel and you want to invest in the company, but you not really know, and founder not really know to recognize what the company valuation, because it's dependent on the company valuation, what kind of percentage of the company will get from the money you will invest. So in this case, they decided, let's connect my current investment for the valuation of the next round of big venture capital. For example, today I put 100K in the startup, and I not really know how many percentages from the startups I will get. But what I know, so if with this 100K, the startup will create the product and will be able to bring next round, big round, for example, 1 million. And from this 1 million, they will, close some terms and conditions of next investment. So I, as an angel, will get, I don't know, 30% or 40% discount of the price for the share of the next round. It means like I will join to the next round investment, but I'm joined to the terms and conditions for the next round, but actually I will get some significant discount, and this will be good for me, to do this investment today. So it's good. It can be good for startup as well, because in this case we don't need now to see and start negotiation what the company valuation and what the percentages I will get. I say, okay, I put the money. In several days we close this agreement. It's several pages safe agreement. People just sign, they transfer the money to the bank of the startup, and the startup start to work. And then in the next round, we will see what kind of company shares I will get from from this investment. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a great answer. It's very useful. Thank you.
Okay, great. More questions? Okay, if no, I want to present you the platform which we will use in our course and in our classes. This is called Startup Mastery. So actually, here I will stop this this presentation. We'll continue to work with this presentation in our next meeting, but now I'll just stop it. Okay, stop share, and I'll do. Okay, I'll open. Okay, so you can see now my screen. Actually, Startup Mastery, this is platform. It's my by the way, it's my startup. Okay, it's Startup Mastery. It's my startup, and this is a startup which develop platform and methodology to help to startups success. Okay, and this is platform which actually. In one platform, we combine the startups, mentors, and investors. But let's see, from startups' point of view. So, as if you register in this platform, so use a startup, actually have your own startup. If I'm going for example, for my startups, I can. If you first time registered, in this platform, so you don't have. Startup yet, so you can press add startup, or we will create for you new startup for your project, and you will be able. I will see how we will join you to the startup. But for example, it's new flow for new startups. Okay, so what we actually can see here, we can see several stages, the 5 stages. Okay, I divided this flow of the to build startup to 5 stages. It's a basic bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And now it's like a flow, which I actually show you before the growth of in the startup from ideation, ideation stage, after the co-founder stage. After that, it was minimum acceleration, minimum available product. After that, it was showing startup stage and growth. So we start with the basic. And in this basic, we have about the startup. We can say, okay, what the startup title, what the industry we work in, who's the CEO of the startup, country, okay, Ukraine, for example. And here we came with a short description and description of the startup. After that, we have possibility to add team members, to invite additional teams. They will get for us, we'll put their email, we'll get for us invitation, we'll be able to join our team, and we'll start to collaborate and work together on the startup together here. After that, the first the first task is to see the competitors. Who is our competitors in the market. And actually I will show you how we'll do this research, okay, and how we'll use AI, okay, because AI it's can be very grateful help, in our in creating, do validation, creating the product, and I'll provide you the knowledge from my side and how we can do that to efficiency, increase our capability to build a good startup. So, but competitors is the first one. And after that, we have elevator pitch. What does elevator pitch? Actually, it's like to present your startup in a very short time with a small number of words and sentences that actually to provide to the investors the main idea of your startups. And actually, after that, after this elevator pitch, the side against you can understand about what that, and not just understand, to say it's going to be interesting for him and say, okay, let's continue. Maybe I will invest, or maybe I will be your partner. So actually, it's a very short way to provide the information about your startup, to the ecosystem. In the classically, this is investors, but it's not only investors, can be also the partners, representatives of some companies, and so on. So we built some some automation here. So actually, once we'll put for example, for the target customers who's dissatisfied with, they have some problem, some challenges. Our product is the name of the product, which that can provide this and this and this feature. So this is the solution, unlike the other competitors. And once we fill it and generate, we can get the first version of elevator pitch, which of course after that we can to rewrite, rebuild, to review it, and we'll get good elevator pitch. And this is the basic. This is the basic. Actually, say, okay, we have elevator pitch. Sometimes after the basic, people say, okay, we have very good competitors, so it looks like it's not for us. Or maybe we have these competitors, but we'll need maybe to change our idea, because what we actually have, there are a lot of competitors. But once we did this marketing research, we suddenly, we understood that there is some good opportunities, in this way. So it's very important to start with the competitors, because sometimes people they jump to create the product, but when they created the product, and after that, with this product, they're going to the market, they just recognize, why, shit, we have a lot of competitors that already have this, their product done. They already have their customers, and actually we came with something with the bags, it was not really work, and how we compete with that. It's like, it's like to go to build some social network when Facebook today, the king. And if somebody just has this idea of social network, but without checking the market, so we'll try to build some kind of social network, this came to the market, and they have, oh, come on, we have a Facebook, so let's compete with the Facebook. So in this case, it's very important to do this marketing research and decide who your potential competitors. After that, the bronze. So the next stage, it's a flow of validation. And I call it pre-start marketing and business development, not just marketing research. Why? Because this is a stage where we need to change, to change our hypothesis to the real facts. Because if we think that this is our potential customers, and if we think that these potential customers has some, some problems and needs, and if we think they will like our solution, and if we think that actually they will not only like our solution, they also will pay for our solution, and will have robust business model, so in this case, we will be very successful. But look, I said, if we think, if we, we thought, and if we, it's also a hypothesis, because in reality, it can be different. We think that these customers will have the problem, but once we will reach these customers, we recognize that there are no problem. If there are no problem, maybe they will need our solution. So maybe it's worth for us to first to recognize, to validate if they really have this problem. If they have this problem, we can bring this solution. But if they don't have, so why we should sit and work very hard to try to create something? Because in the end, as I said in the beginning, in the end, and this is very important to understand. In the end, the successful startup, this is where the market will accept your product. And this is very important to say. The market will accept your product, and you have the change to build a great company. And this acceptance, it's called product market fit, which will also explain to you. It's product market fit. It's when you have the fit of your product with the market. And as a rule, this product will close some gaps, will close some problems, some needs, or maybe some opportunities which markets already have, and you can bring the solution. So it's very important to understand market before we run to create the product. So in this case, we have the customer segments. So who are potential customers? After that, we need to understand what the problems and needs they have. After that, we should validate it. If it's a real problem, if our potential customer will have this, problem or needs, maybe it's fake. Maybe it's only, in our head, we have this, we only, it's our imagination. It's not really facts. So once we have these validation questions, after that, we have the customers, real customers, which will be able to meet, to start to talk with them, to get for them, their reaction, that understand that we're in the right way. So we have their answers, which can actually say yes or no, we like it, we don't like it. After that, we have this, like a problem validation. Okay, we have this problem or we don't have this problem. After that, if we have the problem, so now we can go to the product concept, actually starting to build, to create the concept of our potential, our product for these potential customers. And we actually will get to the business idea, this canvas business model. Maybe some of them already know that, familiar with that business model, but it's something that actually can, in this structured way, to present the business model, saying who are customers, what are their problem, what they value to get from us, how they pay us, what activities and what key resources, what key partners we need to run this business, and also the cost structure. Actually saying, okay, to create this product, we have to put this amount of money, and we can get the revenue stream for our service or product, which we're going to sell to the market, and to see the balance. If actually what we are going to earn and our customers will pay us will cover our costs. Because if it costs for us more than people pay for this service, so it looks like in the end this will be closed. In the end, it will not work. Okay, because in the end, if you create the startup, so this company should, to grow in the valuation, and grows with the earning the money from the market. So there are some different business models where, the customers not really, or users not really pay you directly, and you can monetize these users by, third-party paying part or customers. It's like, for example, with Google, yeah, you can go to the Google, do the search, internet search, and it's free of charge. But Google spends some money just to provide you to the service. They have the servers, they support some programmers which do optimization of this Google search engine. But from where they, earn money, it's actually from the advertisers. Because Google creates something that say, okay, we have millions of people which are going to our websites and looking for some information. And in this case, if I'm looking, for example, for, to buy or to rent a car, they have some businesses which rent the car, and this business can just, to advertise, and these businesses, they pay to the Google. But Google, to provide the service for me, the users, which pay nothing, they put some amount of money, but they, in their business models, it's called two-side business models. They will say, okay, I create something and they have some users, but they will do monetization of these users like the third part service. Okay, so this is a business models, and investors, and it's very important for them to understand what's the business models, and this is all part of our our pitch, which we'll actually do in the end of now our course. We'll have demo day. We'll present your ideas to the investors, to the community, to the partners. Once we'll close this bronze stage, we'll go into the silver. Silver, it's a MSP, minimum selling product. You see, you can see this MVP, because in my philosophy, it's very important that you're going from the beginning trying to build something minimal but saleable. Because once you build something minimal but saleable, you validate not only all your possibility to create some kind of prototype, you also validate the initial business model. And once you validate the initial business model, it's much more easier to go to investors to get from their money and go to the partners and start to talk business. Because sometimes when we talk to the MVP, it's like, okay, we have some product, we have some prototype, we will build it, and we'll start to communicate with the customers, but customers not really like it because it's a lot of bugs and so on. And they put, some kind of attention in the upcoming our meetings for differentiation between MVP and MSP, and why, from my point of view, MSP is much more robust solution and more robust methodology, in this case. So let's see what we have in the silver. So we have this minimum sell product, we have MSP concept, because it will be much more, focused if we'll compare it with the whole product with a lot of features. Maybe it's a limited number of features, but we can create for to close real problem of real customers, which will pay for it for us. After I have the business model, which also can change. It can be more slim, okay, more lean than a big one when we want to show that we will be in the end, a big unicorn. But to start with our first segments of the customers with a limited set of the features, it's actually it can change our business model, to upgrade it. It can be changed. After that, it's design flow, so we can specify how we're going to build it step after the step. We can add some project Gantt, which allow us to manage it in more robust and right way. And after that, we can get to the MOU LOI. So what is an MOU? It's a memorandum of understanding, or LOI, it's a letter of intent. So actually, it's some kind of acceptance from our potential customers, which actually say, okay, we like your product, your future product. You don't have product yet, but we like your idea, we like your future product, and we're willing to use it when it will be done. So now, once we have all of this called pre-start marketing and minimum sellable product design and negotiation with the potential customers, we can get here and that on the silver. It's investment approval. It's mean this is what we actually upload here. Executive summary. What is executive summary? It's one pager describing about our startups, what we do, what our product, what our vision for for success. After that, we will have presentation for investors, which we can upload here. And in the end, we will have image, logo, and we can open it for investment. So once we open for investment, it will this will be shown on the dashboard of the investors, which we'll have on this platform, and who will reach this stage if it will be interesting enough for investment. So investors after that can communicate with the with the CEO, the representatives of the company, of the startup, and after that continue negotiation. So the two next stages, gold and platinum. As I said, we are also startups, so it's here, it's not a lot of features, but gold is MSP sales. I call it MSP sales. It's mean, okay, we have customers, but now we will start to sell, we increase. And here we will add, some metrics, some KPIs, which some traction and say, okay, we have, 10 in these months, we will sell like 2 products and to 2 customers, and 2 months after that, we will sell for 5. So we will be able to see the growth, some graphics, and it's very important also for investors, which can recognize the growth of the startup to see all of these dynamics. And the platinum, it's product market fit. As I say, this is where actually mostly startups can reach, because once you have a product market fit, it's mean, okay, you passed this uncertainty. You passed already this uncertainty, and you know who's your customers, what is their problem, they like your product, they pay you, and now from this point you can grow. You can grow, and actually, if once you have product market fit, and actually it's approved, it's proved, you have some evidence product market fit, so it's not a problem to bring the money, because investor, once they want to invest in startup, they want mostly they want not uncertainty when you don't know about if it will success, no success. They want mostly the real facts. They want evidence that the people like it, the product work, and less uncertainty, they will have more willing to invest, and to bring this company to help you to bring to this company for exit, just to grow together. Okay, so this is platform, and actually we will start step by step to work with them. Once with Sergey, we establish the teams. We establish the teams around some ideas. So we will be able to open in the platform for these ideas and for these teams this flow, and with this flow we will continue to work. Questions? Hello. So everything is clear or nothing? Guys?
Everything is clear.
It's clear, yeah, what actually what I present, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. So now I want, actually we have till 6 our meeting today. So now I want to present you some example, some example of pitch deck or presentation for investors, which from my course here in Israel, from my acceleration program, the company called SendCloud. And actually, I'll try to show you now that to run the presentation, and after that, and actually this is from my point of view, this is a target for your presentation in the end of this course. Okay, so it's very important for me that you will see this example, and after that I also to show you how we can use today AI today I'll show you, the final version of AI, but also I will provide you some instrument how we can use ChatGPT to help us to go through all of these stages of the company development. But it will be next meeting. But now I just want to show you the presentation. 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to do the share screen. Okay, and this is the presentation. Okay, you can see my screen is I think, yeah. So the company is SendCloud, and what actually company can provide is high quality AWS. We talk about Amazon infrastructure. So and their mission to empower the project with no code, precision, and flexibility. What doesn't mean. Okay, so what is opportunity? First of all, we'll try to see the market. So the market of cloud computing is growing exponentially, okay? And it's going to reach about $832 billion by 2025. And actually it grows, but what actually the rising demand for simplicity. So how to operate with this infrastructure, because cloud infrastructure is quite complicated, okay? And actually SendCloud brings the gap with innovation, how to simplify the management of the cloud. So their vision actually to provide some platform or provide some tools which allow people without special knowledge in the DevOps or cloud development or cloud management to do that in a very simple way. And the challenge is how actually to the rapid adoption of the cloud computing introduces complex management challenges requiring a deep DevOps knowledge. So today, to do that, the people need a lot of knowledge and a lot of, and it's actually it's cost quite it's quite expensive. So what is solution? So SendCloud solution, it's a SaaS platform, no code interface, actually where programmers and other people which need to establish a cloud infrastructure can do that in a very simple way. And of course, impact of this solution can democratize cloud management, enabling team to focus on innovation by making sophisticated management tool, and just to put more attention to develop the product and not just spend the money and time to support the infrastructure. So what the features of this solution? Yes. So from one side, this intuitive graphic interface, which allow to do that very, very simple way. Versatile environment management. So it's possible to manage different environments in their projects. CI/CD pipeline compatibility, so it's code integration and code deployment done very simple, and advanced monitoring tools which allow to monitor the project in a very simple way. So how it will look? So this is the interface. We see the graphics where the user can just drag and drop to create the infrastructure. From other sides, he also can get additional graphics and some monitoring on the project, on the networking of the project. What's the focus? Well, this is now we're talking about the market. So actually, there is three main description of the market or target market. So the first one is total addressable market. It's a big market of the cloud computing. After we have serviceable available market, so it's like going to more focus. So it's like $8 billion, and actually serviceable obtainable market, and this is startups, SMB, small medium businesses, outsourcing companies looking for simplified cloud management to cut costs and speed up market entry without deep DevOps skills. Okay, so we have these TAM, SAM, SOM. It's very important part of each presentation for investor, because investor looking for the big TAM, okay, and possible define it SOM. Obtainable market where you can start and after that to grow. Okay, a unique value proposition. So intuitive, no-code interface, comprehensive management suite, as I said, democratizing access, and also emphasis on security and efficiency of the project. So go-to-market strategy, we have digital marketing, of course, and after that, we strategic partnership, so maybe AWS, or other cloud providers. It's community engagements to find the way how to engage the community in the process, sales approach, and maybe to start to sell service in the beginning of the DevOps, and after that to provide this platform. Okay. So success and traction of validation from the users, and so it will become, so we will need to show the user growth, strategic partnership, industry recognition, and customer success. So business model, we talk about the business model. So subscription model, so actually customers will pay some monthly fee about using our project. We have tiered plans. So we have freemium model, we have basic, pro, and unlimited use. So it's differentiation for the price, and B2B targeting. So financial model, we have a cost structure. In the beginning, the company is going like more than 50% to R&D, and we have some graphics, burn rate, and MRR. It's a monthly recurring revenue. We also can see here, for example, that in 2028, the company can get about 11 total revenue in 2028. 11 million revenue, yeah. And financial model, so here presented subscribers, number of subscribers which will grow, and we have subscribers which are free. We have paid subscribers in the as I said, pro subscribers, basic subscribers, and unlimited. And what next? Actually, expand platform capabilities, grow global user base, foster community engagement, and this is our strategic roadmap. Meet the team. Meanwhile, only one guy now was looking for to create team around him. He is an engineer. He has a lot of experience in the IT industry, and especially in cloud-based industry. And join us on a journey. So now there's some kind of actions. So we're seeking for strategic partnership. We're open for the Series A funding, and let's innovate together. And that's it. Okay. So this is the presentation. It's we'll try to create with you together. Okay, just to get some kind of presentation. And actually in this presentation, you can see the market. We will need to provide to the market growth. We also can provide who is a potential customer, what their needs, what our solution, how it's look, what the business model, and actually what we want. We want to raise money. We want to bring it to the potential customers and work with them together, and so. So this is a kind of presentation. But now I want to show you something more, and this is a AI which will create it together with some AI. This presentation, but presented by AI. Let's see it. A minute, I'll just share it.
Welcome, everyone. Today, we're unveiling SandCloud, poised to revolutionize cloud infrastructure management for software teams. Our mission? To make cloud management effortless and accessible to all. The cloud computing market is exploding, expected to reach $832.1 billion by 2025. But with growth comes complexity. SandCloud is here to simplify, offering a no-code platform that transforms cloud management. Our vision extends beyond simplification. We see a future where every software team, regardless of size or technical depth, can harness the cloud's full potential, making infrastructure management a breeze. The rapid adoption of cloud computing introduces complex management challenges, requiring deep DevOps knowledge. A groundbreaking SaaS platform with a no-code interface simplifying cloud infrastructure management. Designed for software teams, it eliminates the need for extensive DevOps expertise. SandCloud democratizes cloud management, enabling teams to focus on innovation by making sophisticated management tools accessible and reducing the complexity of infrastructure provisioning and management. SandCloud empowers teams with an intuitive graphical interface, versatile environment management, seamless CI/CD pipeline compatibility, and comprehensive monitoring tools, all designed to enhance innovation and efficiency. With SandCloud, experience the full advantages of infrastructure as code without writing a single line of code. It's self-service for engineers, offering a no-code experience that still leverages all IAC benefits. Our strategic focus is clear. We've identified a total addressable market of $41.605 billion, narrowing down to a serviceable obtainable market of $166.42 million, focusing on startups, SMBs, and outsourcing companies. We're targeting a broad TAM with a focused SAM and a clearly defined SOAM, ensuring SandCloud meets the cloud management needs of our primary market segments, startups, SMBs, and outsourcing firms. SandCloud stands out with its intuitive no-code interface and comprehensive management suite, democratizing access to cloud infrastructure and emphasizing security and efficiency for all users. Our go-to-market strategy leverages digital marketing, community engagement, strategic partnerships, and a focused sales approach to connect with our target audience and foster widespread adoption. SandCloud's success is evidenced by our user growth, strategic partnerships, industry recognition, and customer success stories, validating our solution and its impact on the market. Our business model is based on a subscription model with tiered plans targeting the B2B sector and ensuring scalability and accessibility for businesses at all stages. Our financial model emphasizes R&D, sales and marketing, general and administrative expenses, and cost of sales, with projections showing robust revenue growth and subscriber increases through 2028. Looking ahead, we're focused on expanding our platform's capabilities, growing our user base globally, fostering community engagement, and following a strategic roadmap for continuous innovation. Meet our CEO, Oleg Fomenko, and our diverse team of experts whose combined experience and vision drive SandCloud towards our goal of simplifying cloud management for software teams globally. We're seeking strategic partnerships and opening for seed round funding to innovate together and transform cloud management. Join us on our journey to redefine cloud infrastructure management.
Окей, ну, here we actually see how AI can be involved in the presentation as well. Okay, guys, so actually we reached the end of today's class. So questions? Questions, proposals, you know, something that you interested to ask?
Don't have any questions, all clear.
It's clear, yeah. So okay, great. So let's we will meet something like 2 weeks from now. So we will talk with Sergey, and actually it's very important to start to, to divide it, to teams, and actually to start to practically, to start to work practically in your project. If you don't have project, maybe we'll create for you something, but it's will be for us very important that you start to do practical things. Okay, so I enjoyed, to spend with you guys these several hours, and I very believe that I will try to provide you mostly what I know to help you, to transform yourself to be more successful in startup developments. And I very believe that Ukraine will win, and you guys will also bring your, the possibility to build some innovation product and to build in the end, transform Ukraine from the winner also innovation state, innovation country. So all the best, and have a very safe evening, and peaceful sky. See you next time.
Thank you very much.
Це буде Україна, слава Україні. Хай живе Україна, героям слава. Bye.